The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, how's it going, everybody? You okay?
Wrong hand.
I need to turn that off. Right, how is everybody doing? We are back at round 4 of the UK Masters. Today we have got Scott the Impartial replaying against Keith, well, the Wet Dead Wilkinson. How is everybody in the chat? I hope you're well. This is going to be a little bit of a clash of the titans. These are two massive undead armies clashing into each other. How is everybody today? I did want to change the map up, but unfortunately Scott wanted to play in the desert, so we will change that for round 5. How is everybody doing?
The unfortunate moment has arrived in the stream. The undead are here. We tried to avoid it, but they're here, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, the head's all right, mate. We're not too bad. Just a little bit tired. My throat is killing from talking all day yesterday, but apart from that, we're not too bad.
I'm fine. A bit ropey this morning, but the shower, the secret of the hangover is open the window in the bathroom so it's nice and cold, hot shower, alternate between the two. It's like a sauna and an ice bath, mate. Freshens you right up.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, no worries, mate. We'll do that in a second. Just getting a little bit of an introduction first, and then we'll kind of jump into everything. So we'll have to go through. Right, so the game that you're looking at the moment, so this is the 3rd and 4th position. So this is Scott playing into Keith, which is Vampire Counts playing into the Tomb Kings. The 1st and 2nd position is currently Pash and Charlie. They're playing. That one's going to be a little bit of a... I don't think they're going to connect with each other, so we didn't really want to play that one. Trying to save one of them for the final game. Just because if Pash happens to win that game, then we would have had him on for potentially 4 games in a row this event. So
that's too much Pash for anybody.
That is far too much Pash. Right. So
there's a limit on how much Pash we can handle.
Yeah. You don't want too much Pash anyway. How is everybody at home on this fine Sunday morning? How are you all feeling? Oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I do apologise. Right, we'll go over to this one. There we go. Streaming's a nightmare. Right, go over to here. Right, so everybody's just kind of setting up at the moment. So do you want to go through the spells that these guys have pulled? And then
we are just awaiting. Oh, Keith has arrived. So Scott, in a turn up for the books with his 2 illusion wizards, have taken Glittering Robe. Never seen the likes of that before from Scott. And he's also taking Jaff's Incantation of the Cursed Blades, just to get reroll 1s on his blobs. His King did roll Spirit Leech, so -2 leadership is pretty impactful in this game. The Wet and Dead do activate based on a lot of leadership tests, so the ability to shut that down is quite impactful. So if you can get a Spirit Leech onto the Mortis engine, for example, strong potential to shut down the healing, which in what is going to be a very grindy game, quite impactful. Now, Keith, let's have a look.
All of the spells.
So I'm assuming Lore Familiar on the Dark Wizard. So he's got Word of Pain, Battle Lust, and Phantasmagoria. So at least he's pretending that there's going to be some combat happening here. I don't see what he's going to get in with the Phantasmagoria, the Battle Lust, but he's got the option if he needs to do it. His Necromancy Wizard has got Spirit Leech, Spectral Steed, Spiritual Vortex, Hellish Figure, and Curse of Years. So pretty good roll for him with the 5 spells item.
It's definitely stuff that you needed, I think.
Yeah.
So this is a double Robin. So he's running the 2 massive units in Royal Host. This is a very, very strong list. Very good for points denial. If Keith's going to try and get any points out of him at all, he needs to try and smash into him and break one of these blobs.
I think it's going to be, if he's going to score anything, it's a scream going into the Chariot Herald.
Yeah.
Which will run through when the lists are up. Finally, Keith does have a level 1, which he's taken Van Hell's Dance Macabre. So once again, pretending that combat will happen. A lot of people do go for Glittering Robe on that level 1. I think that is one of the mistakes that people make with that list. The Van Hals gives you the ability to work outside of typical ranges by increasing movement on units. It makes it a lot harder for your opponent to position,
Yep.
simply because a Van Hals goes off, you get a good roll, you could be charging 3 inches more than your opponent expects, which can catch you out. So,
For sure,
good
right.
group of spells from
Let's have a look through
Keith.
the pairings. So on table 1, we have Scott Reid, who's playing the Royal Host, playing into Keith Wilkinson. Then on
Scott.
table 2, we have Pash, who's playing with the Jade Fleet, who's playing into Charlie with the Vampire Counts. That one has the potential to be a really spicy game, but at the same time as that, literally nothing could happen. I think Pash is going to play very negatively in this. He's currently on a 7-point lead for the event before Charlie. So realistically, he just needs to stop Charlie from scoring at all, which he can do quite well. Charlie's going to really struggle, I think, to try and get points. But if he can close in, he can get them.
There is scoreable points. It's the big thing there. The Jade Warriors, the Cannons. There is a element of risk. It is a tight game.
It is a very, very tight game. So for game 3, we have Jack Allen with his Errantry Crusade playing into Chris Cousins with the Jade Fleet. So Chris Cousins is basically running all of the shugs. He's not running any balloons. So I think personally into that, I think the Errantry Crusade has a slight uphill advantage.
I mean, they're going to charge each other and something's going to happen.
They are.
I think the big advantage for Jack is that Peg Knights don't have an arc, whereas the Shugungans do.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want the combat, he can stop it, which is a lot harder for Chris Cousins to do.
Yeah, and then we're going into game 4, which is Matt versus AJ. This is Tomb Kings versus Tomb Kings. So this is a dry undead off. I think probably AJ potentially has the advantage into that game. Then we have Sam Toll with Vampire Counts playing into Ed Fawcett. Now, this is Vampire Counts into Wild Herd, so that is going to be a very, very spicy game. Can Ed do the same thing that he did into the Chaos Dwarves and pull through it, or can Sam Toll beat the Wild Herd?
It is a list that has play into Vamps. I wouldn't say it's the easiest of matchups, but it does have play into it. The Reduced Ethereal is beneficial, but if those Hex Rays get in with Battle Lust, it could be a bad day for Ed.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then we have Jack Toll and Bretonian Exiles playing against Luke Blackzell. So Jack and Luke, this is going to be a cannon off, then followed by a peg off. And it's just going to be who gets the best positioning, I think. So that's
big swing there is Blackzell has the Killing Blow Baron. Jack doesn't.
Yeah.
So Blackzell is slightly favoured in that match.
Yeah, no, 100%. And followed up by Tomb Kings of Khemri playing into Chaos Dwarves, into Tom Bazowski, who was on the stream yesterday. I'm not sure who's going to get that one. I do think the Tomb Kings will probably struggle to kill the Iron Demons.
Maybe. There's a lot of attacks come from that Tomb Guard brick. So if he gets off the extra attacks, he's in a good place. If he doesn't, he's going to have a rough time.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Nicholas Boucher with his Wild Herd playing into Steve Toll with his Warriors of Chaos. I think the Wild Herd probably has an advantage in this game. I can't see the Dragons surviving those Valtides.
There's not a huge amount of Valtides, is the positive. And
Yeah.
Steve, in his current list, does have a Dispel, which he normally doesn't run. So it's still heavily favoured towards the Wild Herd. I would be surprised if Steve can get anything more than 5 points out of that game.
It's a very hard game for the Dragons, I think. Then we have Mark Mazdak, who's also running Dragons, playing into the Creation Warhost, who is also playing Dragons. So there's going to be quite a few Dragons on that board. And then for the final game, we have Owen with his City States of Nuln playing into Mark Wilcox with Dark Elves. So this is Nuln Gunnery School playing into a load of Shades and a Dragon. So I think that will be quite an interesting game. I think Nuln's probably going to get this, I can imagine. I just can't see the Shades being able to beat through.
Yeah.
There's just so much strength for AP1 shooting coming from the Nuln that I just can't see a world where the Elves actually manage to survive that, unfortunately. I mean, none of these armies are actually badly painted. I mean, obviously the camera is really far away, but the armies are actually stunning. So I don't exactly know where you're getting this from, that the armies are badly painted. There will be pictures posted on Forgotten North and also in Facebook groups and stuff where you can see them afterwards. But no, the armies are actually gorgeous. So I don't know.
Keith's in particular is really pretty army. It's a strong theme throughout. It's got a werewolf theme to it. It's actually really cool. But yeah. A bit more positivity would be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's Belinda back.
Hey, all right, morning. How's it going? You okay? So the blob, we actually have a lot of skellies. It's a load. I'll go through the list in a second as well. So let's get. Right, let's get the list up so we can see exactly how many skeletons he does have. I do think it is in the 70s,
It's
though.
69 in one and 71 in the other one. I think was the last version of the list I saw.
Oh no, I can't log in.
The skeletons have actually got smaller than the previous runs at Worlds and the like, so he's showing growth and making his list a little bit more thematic.
Yeah,
I would say 2 less skeletons, big deal, big switch. He's showing a heart.
just making him slightly smaller.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Cool.
We got Keith.
So let's go for Scott Reid's list to start with. Right, so let's have a look at Scott's list. Do you want to go through, mate? Because you've been enjoying playing the double blob.
I can do. I'm just trying to get my tablet going, so I'll be 2 seconds. But this is the Royal Host with the most. This has got Making Infantry Great Again, Reid. The Imperishable. So he does have his Royal Host list. He has 3 Mortuary Priests, all level 1 on Illusion, 1 with the Spell Eater Axe to get Magic Resist 2 onto one of his units. He has a Royal Herald, Battle Standard Bearer, Banner of the Desert Winds, which gives him Vanguard and Reserve move on the unit. And he also has the Destroyer of Eternities, the weapon everybody loves. You can give up a single attack to do D6 hits, Strength 6, AP 2, Killing Blow. Pretty spicy. You'll notice, if you can see it on the stream, because of the too many characters rules, Scott tends to have him in the second rank, which means he gives up the 1 attack he would get as a sporting attack into D6 attacks with the Destroyer.
Right,
the naughty little boy.
While you're going through this, I'll be 2 seconds.
He also has a second Royal Herald. This one's on a Skeleton Chariot. It's got a great weapon, Armor of Meteoric Iron, and Talisman of Protection. So the latest FAQ did change it so that you can target the Chariot if it's in a unit. Scott will be putting that into a unit. But what it does is it gets the Herald up to 7 wounds, which is quite strong. It just gives him more wounds to pass off from his general using the Royal Herald's rules. And then he also has a Royal Herald with the Great Weapon and Warding Splint. Then we've got a Tomb King, Language of the Priest, which means he can be the Lich for the list. Great Weapon, Bedazzling Helm, and Charmed Shield. What he's looking to do with this guy is get off Glittering Robe from one of the level 1s, which then makes it so that the Tomb King's Weapon Skill 8, so most things hitting him on 4s. Then he's -1 to hit for the Bedazzling Helm, -1 to hit for the Glittering Robe, meaning it's only 6s that hit going forwards. And then he has the majority of his units. So we've got 1 Skeleton Chariot, which is Dave. You can't kill Dave. It's mean to pick on Dave, poor thing. He has 1 Skeleton Cohort with 69, so 10 infantry with spears and 59 Skeleton Archers. He's got the Icon of Sacred Eye on a banner in that unit, which gives him +1 weapon skill to his unit. And then he also has the Amulet of the Serpent, which gives poison to that unit. What he's looking to do here is get his My Will Be Done moving to give the unit on total 2 weapon skill, bringing the skeletons up to weapon skill 4, making them much more resilient in combat than the typical weapon skill 2 1. He's then got a second larger infantry cohort with 62 archers and 10 warriors. That is Monster Hunter's Tapestry on the board, so he's just trying to keep their block a little bit safe. One of the things that you notice with the double blob is if you're into Triple Dragon, they can pick on the smaller, weaker block and win the game based on killing that. So he's got the Monster Hunter's Tapestry on just to slow down that damage coming in. He then has 2 units of 10 Skeleton Skirmishers, Warbows, and Ambush. They're going to come in late, try to take up board control, score domination typically in games, or just run away to save their points coming forwards as well. So that is Scott, the fluffiest player at the event, as he will tell you. So narrative. He's named his characters, trying to make it look like he's not an awful power gaming
he is
monster.
definitely a horrible person. That's the thing. I know there have been a couple of comments in the thread and on Facebook and stuff about like the lists that people are bringing to this. But what I'd like to answer to that is obviously everybody's trying to bring good lists. This is the UK Masters. This isn't just even like a normal tournament. This is actually our Masters event where the top players are playing against each other. So, I mean, obviously the lists are going to be horrible.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you bring a not horrible army to this? I kind of don't understand the mentality. This isn't a narrative event.
There's one fluffy army that's been brought to this event, and it's currently in last place.
Yeah. I mean, some would say that the Nuln is relatively fluffy.
That's
as well,
not
actually.
fluffy. That's a world's winning list.
Right, let's have a look. So, where's Keith's list? Right, and over to Keith. Let's have a look at some wet undead.
So this is Keith, notably with his shoulders covered today. He means business. No vest for Keith today, so he is seriously trying to push for this. Now,
it's because he didn't bring any extra clothes with him. That's the problem.
That's true. That is true. He's only got the one vest, the poor thing. But a fairly standard build in the characters. So we've got a Necromancer General on Mortis Engine, level 4. Necromancer with Spell Familiar for the extra spell. Tome of Spellcraft gives him a reroll of a cast per turn, and then a Talisman Protection for the 5-up ward. He has a Master Necromancer level 3 on Dark Magic with a Lore Familiar and Ruby Ring of Ruin, and then a Necromantical Acolyte Wizard level 1 on Illusion. Double Banshee, and then a White Lord, Charm Shield, Helm of Commandment. In this comp, you can't re-roll using the BSB as Undead, so Keith has gone to fake that, but he does need the white in to get the Graveguard into core. Onto core, he has the 24 Graveguard, Great Weapons Drilled, Full Command Dragonoff Banner. We've seen it all before at every event that's been held in the UK for the last year. 2 units of zombies for Keith, so a 21 and a 20, with 3 Fellbats, 6 Hex Race, and finally, you've got the one piece of tech for Keith with the limited amount of ethereal units that you can take in the comp. Keith has gone for Blood Knights into this to try to see if he can get some more combat punch into his list.
I like it, to be fair. I do quite like the Blood Knights. I think they're really, really good. So the TK Monster Mash list is currently playing against another TK list a little bit further down. So I think they're on table 4 or table 5. I'm not sure who's going to win that one, to be fair. Be interesting.
Depends on how the pressure works. I mean, the Monster Mash, I think Tomb King's Monster Mash is still probably the strongest of the Monster Mashes.
Yep.
Just because of native, strong leadership compared to Warriors of Chaos. It's still an okay list. I think it's struggling a little bit now that the Monsters Hunters Tapestry is coming in.
Yeah.
The Warriors of Chaos Dragons damage is a lot more front-loaded and doesn't need the stomps as much, whereas the Tomb King really is relying on that stomp to push out some damage. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets into that.
Anyways, so we did go through all of the spells a little bit earlier. We can get them back for you again, so we can do a little...
We've got... Keith has got everything from Necromancy except for Unquiet Spirit, so that's the Magic Missile. Reasonable, it's not something that's going to be particularly relevant in this game, just because of the amount of skeletons involved. Keith on his Dark Mage took Battle Lust, Phantasmagoria, and the Curse of Ages, I believe it's whichever one that is. It's the debuff Hex, and then the level 1 has taken Van Hel's.
Yep, do always love a Van Hel's. Yeah, that is a monster of a block, isn't it?
I've seen bigger.
It's quite funny, actually, because obviously for the entire first year of Warhammer the Old World, everyone was like, everyone only brings monsters. Monsters are horrible. Then as soon as people actually try and big massive unit, everyone's like, oh my God, and loses their mind. It's great. We had the same one.
Scott thinks that's a big unit. I have seen bigger units myself.
Well, the ones
I am the real host.
Hilarious. So,
mine was 150.
Yeah. When we went to Italy, there was no cap on the biggest size of unit, so I took a unit of 100 Slayers. He had 150 skeletons in a blob, just to have a bit of a laugh with it. Like, it's objectively really bad, and they're not very good. But
it doesn't score.
No, it doesn't score at all. Objectively terrible in the game, but they look hilarious. Also, the double blob I really like, especially on Strat Location 2 as well. This is really good. Is there anything else? So it's track location 2 and just baggage train in this mission, I believe. So they're just going to be fighting through to try and get to the other person's baggage train.
They are moving forwards as well. So this is, as I say, going to be heavily reliant on you guys' interaction in this one. This is dry undead versus wet undead. It can be a dry game. I think the big swings here are going to be, can Keith get a debuffed Scream into the Von Chariot? It's the big thing. Because he can target it, because it's in a unit, it's a different unit type, he can Scream that individual chariot, which could swing it towards an 11-9 versus the 10-10.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he does. I think the problem is
each of those is actually its own shovel.
It is, yeah. The problem they've got is both of these need to score points. Like a 10 is okay, but to be able to catch up with Charlie and Pash, they need to be able to crack the other one.
Yeah.
And they both know this. They're both under a lot of pressure. Like, they don't want to just get a 10 in this.
I think the thing that they're potentially looking at is who can get Pash in the next round.
Yeah.
Between the two of them. Pash has a list that is more beatable or scoreable against than Charlie or Keith or Scott. They're all lists that don't give up points really that much at all. Pash's list is very strong, but does have elements where it can give up its points. It can lose. More so than the Vampires list. They're not big scorers themselves, so Pash has gone for something a lot more aggressive, a lot more scoring, whereas these guys are a lot more defensive in their build. So it'll be almost like Game 5 might be the big swing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Here we go. Right. Behemoth, hey, you're right, mate. How's it going? So it's not win-loss draw. It's 20-0 in this system. So everybody, the current point, Pash is on 49 points with leading the event. Then Charlie is on 42. Then Keith and Scott are both on 41. So they're going to have to try and get these points back to it. A 10 each isn't going to cut it.
No.
Because if Pash and Charlie score, then that's suddenly going to leave these boys behind. So they need to start.
It's relevant for the podium here, because if Pash loses to Charlie and these two draw, it does put them in the mix for that Game 5 to push it forwards as well. It's not just this one chariot. That is Dave, the chariot.
Yeah, it is
Dave, the chariot, deserves
the sacred
respect.
Chariot. I mean, these are two very, very strong lists. These are the kind of lists that we just wouldn't want people to play at home. If you're playing this on your kitchen table like this, you shouldn't be playing stuff like this.
Yeah.
These lists are designed to just kind of break the will of the opponent. Luckily, everybody that's playing here enjoys this kind of play. Yeah. Obviously, if you're watching this and you're a bit of a narrative player and this is making you feel sick, then that's fine. Everybody enjoys their own way that they like to play. But all of the players here enjoy trying to tear absolute chunks out of each other. And these lists are, a catalyst for that, right?
We are seeing some things move backwards, some things move forwards. There's a bit of a posturing going on here. You'll note that the heroic Dave, or as I think he should be called, Tutankhamun, the Geordie taxi, is hiding behind a rock. Nice and safe. But hopefully action picks up soon. It's unfortunately distracting Scott with our top-notch banter.
Yeah, hello. So we are apparently distracted them, so we'll stop talking at them.
No. So Scott will always set things up in a very similar fashion. So one of the units with the icon of the Sacred Eye, that is going to be his go block. Every character will typically be in that, barring one of the level 1s. And then also the Tomb Prince will be in the second group. He does that because he's got one block that's really trying to push, and the other one's the more defensive piece. So, yeah.
Hey, you're right, Keith, mate. So Charlie does love a bit of dark magic. I think he can definitely pop the smaller blobbin, I think.
The smaller blobbin, maybe.
Yeah. With all the Vargas attacks,
he needs something else going in at the time. So what Charlie will typically do into this is try to pin it with the Graveguard and then set up a flank with the Vargeists to try to rip through and get that combat res going. It is very tough to pop this block. It's a lot of wounds, it's a lot of static combat res, and then there's a lot of great weapons coming back from you from all the characters as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Obviously, there are technical difficulties. I think I've got to the root of the cause for the camera flicker now. Basically, I think I've knocked my USB hub on the way traveling up, so it's like a little bit wobbly, but there's zero I can do about it now because the event is literally in the middle of nowhere. So I just kind of worked that out this morning when I was trying to do some troubleshooting. Yeah. So for the next tournament, it will be better. I am going to try and get an overhead rig made as well. Basically, in my testing, the overhead worked, but here it didn't work, so we had to get it at an angle again, unfortunately. So the next event, there will be an overhead, and it will be hopefully a lot smoother for everybody as well. For any viewing issues or anything. And there have been a couple of posts online as well. I just want to kind of counter as well with like the level of painting and the level of tables and stuff for this event. Like everything looks awesome. Like, and the painting standard's super high as well. There will be pictures being put online and stuff. I just want to kind of address that I understand that people look at the screen and think that these are just blobs of color, but this camera is like 6 foot away from the models. So stuff is painted absolutely stunning. Like Keith's army in particular is absolutely amazing. Like if Graveguard hosts the converted werewolves. So I just kind of want to dispel this. I know there's obviously going to be negative stuff online, but I don't particularly appreciate it when you're talking about other things that people have spent hours and hours and hours of their own personal hobby time doing. I think it's a little bit shitty to just put that online, but that's fine. That is what it is.
Be more Scott in the world.
Yeah.
Let's have some positivity and love.
Hey, you're right. Morning. Hopefully you've been enjoying it anyway. So the recap of the standings, I can't actually show you the exact standings because they've been locked because they want to keep it a secret from everybody who's playing here, but I can give you the top 4 anyway. So we've got Pash at the top, then it's Charlie, then it's Scott and Keith, who are on exactly the same point. So we can give you the top 4. Yeah, they are.
What you're not seeing as well is I made these for Scott. He has 2 sets of My Will Be Done cards in which we used AI to turn Scott into Egyptian-themed pictures, including pharaohs and mummies, that he uses for his My Will Be Done trackers that we made. So we're a big fan of Scott. He's a lovely, lovely bloke, so we'll do anything to help him. But yeah, we made those for Scott.
It is a little bit of AI slop, but it's funny. That's the kind of stuff I thought that AI was made for.
Yeah,
I think.
I think everybody should have an AI image of themselves as a pharaoh being fed grapes to describe what My Will Be Done they have at that time.
I've popped the smaller Bob versus Scott, actually. Treekin versus 2 dragons. Yeah, no, for sure. Like dragons,
it can be done. I think it's a little bit harder now that the no stomp banners come in.
Yeah.
The smaller, you lose your stomps, which you've got to get in early to get rid of it.
Yeah, and it's a lot more difficult now. Obviously, now you would just go for the one without the stomp banner, so you would just try and destroy that one, just leave the other one completely alone, not even engage with it, and just not do anything. Nah, cheers. Thank you very much. Yes,
they are.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
Yeah, exactly the same.
But I did them in the style of a full art promo as well to make them extra special for him.
Yeah, this is the thing, and I don't know why people just feel the need to try and shit on competitive players. Like, there's no one here that's just put like 2 paints on a model. Like, most of these armies are absolutely stunning. Like honestly stunning as well. Like, it's quite funny actually. I did a video.
It's one thing that particularly annoys me is that you can make comments about these things, but you know nothing about that person, whether they're in a position. So you think an army is badly painted. Fair enough, you're allowed an opinion, but there's a lot of people with accessibility issues that have got into Warhammer that may not be the best painted because they can't get their hands steady and the like. But they are doing their best.
It's pretty ableist to assume that everybody can paint amazingly, right?
Just chill out. Like, everybody's trying their best. Everybody's having a good time. Don't shit on people, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are really cool. I really enjoy all the cards. I've got all of the dwarf ones. I do go around and give out a load of the dwarf rune cards, actually, to be fair. So are we expecting a 10-10 draw? I hope not. I really hope not.
I think this is one where, because they're both Team England, they know each other well, that they will probably push more than they typically would at an event, just because there's a little bit of spice to this, that there's a bit of internal pride about beating the other one.
Yeah. I mean, these are both teammates as well,
Yeah.
so they probably do want to kick the shit out of each other, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, Scott's going for him. He's vanguarding towards him. He's coming.
Hey, you're right, mate. How's it going? You're right. So I feel a bit ropey. Dave feels okay.
Dave is the real dwarf.
Yeah, I haven't had enough coffee yet. I stayed up far too past my bedtime last night, but it's going okay. It's going all right. We're soldiering through. Very interesting format. Moving armies while we're playing a game of Magic Commander. Yeah, exactly.
It's like that chess boxing, isn't it? You've got to play a game of Standard whilst you're playing a game of Warhammer.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know what? I don't know, to be fair. So is that just the Masters or the Masters with the open in? Because it's the Masters with the open in. Amy with the Troll Horde.
Amy's Troll Horde.
She's got a try-hard board to put it all on as well. It's like a little troll village. That thing.
Blacksel's Bretts are very pretty. They're very traditionally painted. Can't go wrong with it. Amy is the most stunning army I've seen. It is absolutely fantastic. The level of hobby she puts out is insane. Unfortunately, Mop, the abandoner of the Masters due to his little sore head and tummy yesterday, his rats are lovely as well. He's a perennial best painted player, and he's currently third or fourth ranked in the UK, and winning best painted at pretty much every event he goes to. So, yeah, the hobby is of a really high standard.
Yeah, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it's not. So because it's the Masters, it's actually been locked. So you can't follow along with it annoyingly, but we'll try and give updates as much as we can.
I think you can see results on Best Coast Pairings.
You can't see the lists at
and
all, though,
lists if you're subscribed to Best Coast Pairings. But that's a limitation from Best Coast Pairings, not the event. They're not trying to bar access. It's just Best Coast Pairings. You need to subscribe to see lists at an event you're not going to.
Yeah. Which is really, really annoying. Very new to Tau and starting with Tomb Kings, 500 points currently. I don't want to be that guy. So any units I should stay away from. Honestly, like when you're first starting, I don't think, unless you go out and buy 6 balloons, I don't think you could potentially be that guy when you're first starting. So honestly, just pick stuff that you like the look of. Like the Tomb Kings are in a really good position where like 90% of their stuff is really usable and really strong.
Yeah.
So you can just get yourself the stuff that you like the most, even if that's combat Ushabti that aren't potentially the best meta pick, they're still really good. Yeah. Like if any army had a unit with the stats of a combat Ushabti, I would take them. If I had golems in my army that had exactly the same stats and I could res them, I would take them. It's just everything else is just like
I'm going to say, as a new player into it, I think the standard to try to achieve is to talk to your opponent before you play the game. Let them know if you're wanting to play a Mortuary Cult, a Shabdi list, which is very strong. It's not to everybody's taste. Have that chat with your opponent. If you wanted something more fun, just proxy and say, well, actually, I'll do my Shabdi, but I'll give them the Great Blades, and we'll have a push forward, fight your game. Have conversations with each other.
Yeah, I love a contrast paint. To be fair, I've been descending into the contrast paints lately.
I am the biggest proponent of the contrast. I am arguing that the reason Warhammer has grown at the scale it has is because of contrast paint.
Yeah,
I am not a great painter. I'm a pretty quick painter. I can get tabletop ready. I'm never going to win Best Painted.
Yeah.
But I can put reasonable models on the table, and that exists because of contrast paint. It's awesome stuff.
For sure. So just to answer this question, yes, it can, but it's not so much the unit itself, it's the characters in the unit, out combat resin, and if he can get 2 of those bricks into the Graveguard, he'll pop the Graveguard.
I think the big thing here as well is the comp doesn't allow you to re-roll leadership tests for any of the undead factions. So that can be quite significant. It makes it more possible to grind out the Graveguard. They've got to roll those 8s, which you can fail. You're very rarely going to fail it with a reroll, but
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, especially in these armies here, you're talking hundreds of models. Like, it's very difficult to keep that painting standard up, and it can become a little bit of a grind, especially when you're a little bit of a masochist like us. Like, I'm on my 6th dwarf army in the last 2 years. So yeah.
In fact, after painting 3,000 points of Tomb Kings myself, I'm now
Cheers, mate.
painting
Cheers.
Alex's 3,000 points of Tomb Kings just to do it. I've got a box of 150 skeletons that have been painted for him. And I just enjoy painting. Like, I'm not the best painter in the world, but I find it therapeutic.
Yeah. So the Tomb King's army is the royal host. So basically, it's 2 massive units with phalanx that have got spearmen at the front, archers at the back, so he can walk forward and always volley fire.
That's
and
the
then
main strategy. They're the only unit in the game that can move and volley shoot. So it makes it so even if they're charged, they can volley. It's part of the skeleton cohort special rules. That makes it very, very strong defensively, and put out a lot of extra combat res on that as well. So this is the Royal Host Double Blob. It was originally a list that was designed by Denarius, which was the original skeleton cohort. That was 150 skeletons. However, with the changes of the FAQ, that was no longer allowed because of the 500-point unit cap. This is where Scott introduced the double blobbing, where he's insistent he is making infantry great again. He is not, as we all know, Gobble
they've just lost the dice.
Made infantry great again.
Dwarves made infantry great again. For me, the TK player is already a moral victory. He has successfully removed the flash. No, 100%.
To be fair, he can't take that moral victory because his partner Fiona, who is an absolute superstar, did all of his painting for him. Scott,
I feel Fiona is the real imperishable here.
Scott is just the awful man that brings this list after somebody else painted it for him.
Yeah. So just cycling away from the game slightly and talking about painting. So I love contrast paints. If you put them on as the first coat, and then I like to wash back down with like a coloured paint, and then re-highlight with the contrast paint mixed with another colour, and then have like a glaze of the contrast. You can get a really, really nice matte effect, which not a lot of people talk about. I really like that.
I speed paint go burr.
Speed paint go burr. Yes, so all of the lists are on their videos. I didn't actually do a video going through the list just because they already did them.
Bryn, the imperishable, has also done a list review, one of the smaller YouTube channels, which you should always check out as well.
Yeah. Swivelius, can you only have 500 points unit max? Yes, you can only have a...
It depends on the choice. So that's a match play guide thing.
Yeah.
So most places in the UK follow the match play guide. You've got 2 sets of comp within that. We run them together.
So a lot of places around the world run them both together. We've been to one event that doesn't run the max unit size, the max points of 500, and that was wild. That's why we ended up taking like a unit of 100 slayers, 150 skeletons. It's just kind of wild. Morning, mate. Morning. Welcome to Warhammer The Old World UK Masters. For anybody that's just joined, this is Game 4 in the UK Masters, where the Dry Dead is playing against the Wet Dead. Keith Wilkinson and Scott Reid are smashing into each other. I mean, they are going for it. There's no hiding in this game.
Well, Scott's pushing. Keith is posturing. Scott's happy to go for it. So I predicted this early before the game. Scott's going to sit back and protect his baggage train with the weaker of the 2 blobs. He's going to push his character blob forwards. He's going to put some shots out there, hope that he fails to heal something, and then hopefully get a charge later on.
It is a Polish Civil War. We have Tom Brzezowski playing into Mikkel on table 8. So that's going to be a spicy one. Going to have to knock their own countrymen out, I think. Well, unless they get a draw, I suppose. That'll be a hard game for both of them.
Yeah.
So Shabty Spam playing into T7. So
is it not the Tomb Guard going into the T7?
He's got a Shabty too.
Has he?
Yeah. Not many, but he's still got enough.
It's that Tomb Guard brick. I mean, if he's got the Ogre Blade King, he's got 3 Necrotechs in his list, so that can put the King onto 7 attacks for Hatred with an Ogre Blade. It will chew through one of those chariots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Keith's just going to move backwards for as long as he can, and then I think Scott's just going to absolutely hammer into him, I think.
Potentially, I mean, there's a potential here that Scott is just going to push up onto that second objective and force Keith to do something. It depends on how quickly he can get there. It can be next turn. So My Will Be Done can give you up to an extra 3 movement. With reserve move on that block, it can put them up to 14 inches that can move forward in a turn.
So the Ogre Blade was probably one of the best weapons in the entire game previously to 1.5. It is basically high strength, high AP, and does D3 damage, which is really good.
It's the +2 strength. It's a great weapon with multi-wound 3.
I mean, it used to be really cheap, but it's got a little bit expensive now. But then if you're not paying for anything else on that hero, then
hasn't it always been 75? It was just they changed the price of the Talisman of Protection to make it so you can't have both.
So I think it was 65.
Was it? Fair play.
It was probably a little bit too cheap initially, I think. Although I'd probably be alright with it going back down now that you can get the no stomp banner.
Well, it's the Monkey King's Paw. The same price where it's AP4 and multi-wound D3.
Yeah, absolutely. Well.
Just the Cathay approach of ever so slightly better in every possible way.
Yeah. How is everybody doing this fine Sunday? I'm not I'm not looking forward to driving home. This snow,
I'm fine. I'm 5 minutes down the road.
Right. So Scott's baggage train, I believe, is underneath the big blob. Yeah, so there he's pointing to it now. So it's right underneath the big blob. It's right in the middle. An interesting one with that, because it is difficult terrain, that is actually making him not have any ranks, which is it's going to be over 25%, I imagine.
It's unlikely to be on that unit size.
It depends the angle that it's at. If that's at a diagonal, it will be. If it's straight on, it won't be. So we might have to watch out for that. Hopefully he's planned that in.
I don't think there's anything going near him.
No, potentially not. But it's something that you need to consider, I think. Definitely something you need to consider. So for those of you at home that are attempting to put like units of like 20 or 30 standing on top of your baggage train, it will wipe out your ranks if you get charged. So don't get caught out with that. Right, so
we're going for Dave here.
So we got a scream going in.
So the scream into the chariot.
Oh.
So it's 2 screams going in.
So we did a
10 and a 2 at his leadership test there. So big swings, but does have his ward save.
Yeah, so he might be able to save these. Oh, he's alive. Nice. So the screams didn't manage to get through. So the chariot is still okay.
It's going to be -1 on. If he's doing it -5, it means he does have the vortex off. It's quite a tricky thing to get rid of with only level 1s. So healing it up, he's going to be on 6s, I think.
Yeah.
To heal it. So
it's going to be
he might have another go. He might get another go at it.
I mean, that's the easiest points that Keith's going to get in this, and then he's going to have to potentially try and convert.
It's the only points he can realistically pick out. Because of it being a chariot, it's the one thing that is something that he can abuse, really. So I think Scott's just going to keep pushing forwards.
Yeah, he is. For kind of clarity, I think the Royal Host is kind of like almost playing like Knights in 40k, Gargants in Age of Sigmar. It's just basically 2 massive models kicking around the board with a little support piece running around as well. I mean, so Keith is currently playing a Legacy faction, the Vampire
We can ask him how he feels.
Probably quite good, considering he's going for the win of the event. Charlie is also playing a Legacy. He's on potential to win the event as well.
Mark playing Dark Elves, probably not feeling so great about Legacy right now.
No, but he did bring Shades.
He did, yeah.
He just brought some stuff for fun. Like, he didn't bring a hyper-competitive Dark Elf list. Which is fine. He just wanted to bring loads of models that he hadn't been able to use all year.
And then, as we all know, Mop had a poorly tummy.
Yeah, so actually Skaven were probably one of our picks to try and podium, just because the Skaven Death Globe and massive Death Star with all of the magical attacks is really, really good into vampires to churn through, with Demonology in there as well. So that would have been one of my top picks to just kind of edge into like 3rd or 4th place potentially. So I think that Legacies are actually doing really, really well at this. Demons and ogres, unfortunately, don't feel great at the moment. Demons, the fact that they can't even take any like the
Demons
sort of ban or
are
anything is ridiculous.
fine, just overcosted on everything.
Yeah,
They're a list that just needs points reductions, and they should be fine. There's not sort of massive issues with the overall list. I mean, lack of certain items, but then that's same as dwarfs, isn't it?
Yeah,
got the same problems.
Dwarves, elves, all of the factions struggling a little bit. I think it's just mainly down to points cost rather than rules. So I think you could probably change that with just some balance changes from Games Workshop, I think.
Probably not. I think in this they're not particularly relevant. They're a very good piece for going after baggage trains late if you can, or scoring domination late. Yeah, they're gonna push, but I don't see them doing anything relevant. They're gonna come on the backboard as ambush if they can.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, I don't understand why the world save goes. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. Like, I'm hoping that changes. Obviously, I've talked about that loads on the channel. I think the legacies will be brought into the game eventually, so hopefully. I mean, lizardmen can be really, really good. Like, skinks are probably still one of the best core in the entire game for scoring objectives.
I've been playing lizardmen a lot recently, and there are some builds. There's just a few. It's the same as the sort of. There's just a few issues with the way that the list is designed. I think if they turned a Carnal to weapon skill 4, they'd probably be okay. It's just weapon skill 3 on it is pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, you almost get forced into the skink builds, don't you? Which they always played that way, I suppose. But
I do think there is a legs in a Ripodactyl Death Star.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. We're going to dactyl people with
the Ripper Star.
Loads of frenzied Petrodactyls.
Do you know what I'd love to see? A Ripper Star versus a Wood Elf Hawk Star.
Yeah.
And just like the nice aerial fight. I think that'd be quite cool. Mainly because, you know, in your brain when you're playing a game of Warhammer, you can just like envision the... Oh, that might just be me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, in this kind of comp, I would feel extremely confident playing X-Force or Doomseekers in this field. Like, I would have felt very, very comfortable playing it here. Like, I feel that the Sappers list, or even a version of like the Worlds list, which is the Gyrocopter spam, I feel could have done very well at this event. Doomseekers, you could have just stopped other people from winning. You probably wouldn't get enough points to be able to win yourself. But yeah, it's a real shame that Tom Bradley, who did qualify with X-Force, it's a shame that he couldn't come this weekend because I think he had the possibility to do really, really well. In this field, it's almost an auto win into the Chaos lists. Like, he does really, really well into the Vampires. Like, the Vampires cannot grind through him, especially with how Entrench is ruled at Masters as well. So, yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. But, oh well. Hopefully next time. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The Bloodthirsters are... they're pretty nuts when you get in. Unfortunately, Chaos aren't doing very well.
So hot, I'm afraid.
Yeah, unfortunately not doing well. Mark and Steve are unfortunately not doing great. I'll go. I'm going to go check on.
Well, I was going to say I'll go do the run in a second to get the updates to see how things are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although saying that, I do need the toilet.
I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll go check in the game. I will be back.
So looking at it here, you potentially struggle to see it in that exact corner. Scott, trying to be as awkward as possible for the stream, has decided to bring his ambushing skirmishers into the exact corner that you can't see. There is about an inch of mat that you can't see from the screen, and he's picked that one just to be extra fun for us. But he is pushing on some skeleton skirmishers. Just going to try and plug some shots into things and spread some wounds about if he can. Yeah, there's a slight issue with the camera flickering that we are trying to resolve, but it's been a bit of a persistent issue, unfortunately. We are looking at it. think with Richie being gone, people can be more positive about elves, I think. Wood elves, there seems to be a bit of traction going with the wood elves at the moment. I know Keith Wilkinson, who's playing here, did come second with a Orion's Wild Hunt wood elf list. Very aggressive full send. So there is potential within the list. There's several of the high elf players have won games this weekend. I don't think they're quite enough to win an event in the sort of current comps, but they are very strong with the sort of double dragon builds that people are running as well. So still lots to be positive for the knife ears. The rat men are a lie. There's no rat men under the Empire. Remember that. So ambushes have come in. We look to have at least Glittering Robe on, and he also has the reroll ones onto his spells have gone off. So he's going to scoot forward. He doesn't look like he's been able to get rid of any of the spells. So a bit more posturing by the looks of things. Scott just trying to chip some wounds at the moment. When Dave has come out to play, this is a big moment for Keith to demonstrate how evil he is. Can he go after poor lonely Dave? So we're at the shooting phase now. Scott about to roll a ridiculous amount of dice. It's typically about 30 to 35 shots for poison coming from the host. It looks like he's going for the Mortis. Which is just a chance to chip wounds. I think it's not so he would normally shoot in this sort of scenario, but because of the comp and not having the rerolls on the leadership tests, you can pop wounds onto it. Richie now interrupting the game to slow things down, which is good.
It's a good time to be alive. Oh, yeah, for sure. Hello, everybody. I am back. So he is shooting the Dubbin Blobbin at the Mortis engine. So he's got reroll ones here as well, so he's got to club on.
This is very much the 40k moment in it, where you're rolling that many dice.
Yeah. It's kind of glorious. Like I wish I had.
This is the honor of Keith picking out his own hits against himself as well. Here's your ones to re-roll. Do more damage to me.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
There's quite a few poisons there. So the normal hits will be wounded on 6s, so not the most likely.
And then because of the new poison change, it's going to be on 4s with the poison, because it is +2 to wound.
So it's the 3 wounds, 4 up save.
And then 1 more save. And then regen.
All of that, he has taken a wound.
Which he's going to be healing back in about 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yeah.
Have you gone through the comments?
Yeah, I've been going through them.
Okay, cool. It is a lot of dice. I wish I had something in the dwarves that rolled that many dice. I know individually I probably have more shots than that with my gyrocopters, but if I roll d6 shots, I only ever roll 1, so I never get to roll that many dice, unfortunately.
So, slight sequencing with Phantasmagoria. That the unit is impetuous, but only when they finish their movement in range of it and pass the panic test. So the first turn that Phantasmagoria is out, it doesn't actually do anything. It starts to have an effect after that first movement phase, after it's been in effect. So you have to finish your movement next to it.
Yeah.
So it is impetuous now. I don't think there's anything in charge range anyway for him, but we'll see if Keith baits some impetuous. I don't think he will, but he might.
Yeah. Saying this, I was really stubborn as well, but there is a time that comes when you want to try and win all of your games rather than just get smashed.
Yeah.
Like Thunderers and Gyros and Sappers especially.
It's when you lost to Lizard Men that you just gave up on it.
Yeah, I just gave up. I was trying it. So recently I was like, right, I'm going to get the combat bricks out again. This is going to be glorious. I'm throwing like massive bricks of hammers around. And then I just got like hemmed in by skinks and I was like, I couldn't charge anything. I was like, ah!
And then you got charged by loads of dinosaurs and died.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't have any today with driving. Like I've got like an 8-hour drive once we finish streaming, and it's snowy and the weather's
We
crap.
don't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah, don't drink drive. Only drink and fly gyrocopters. That's the.
Enjoying the wonderful world of coffee today. We're old. We can't do it twice in a day.
Yeah. I mean, like combat dwarves can feel pretty pointless at the moment. Before when we had the anvil buffs and we could consistently get the double move, we could be really fast. But unfortunately, now that that's been hit, we can't. So you do need to take control of the game. Before we could take control of the game by our movement, now we've got to do it for our ranged attacks.
Yeah.
Like you need agency and you need movement to be able to win Warhammer, especially now that it's objectives as well. So the Mortis engine's actually really cool. So it's a Age of Sigmar model.
It's the Something the Drowner from the Nighthaunt range. It's a really cool model.
I might ask Keith if we can mark where it is, and I'll bring it so you can have a look at it because it's actually really, really cool. I'll go grab it. So it's pretty sick.
But yeah, it's the Age of Sigmar Nighthaunt character.
So, like, really cool. So it's like drowning. It works. Sorry, it's not. There we go.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, so that like works so well as a Mortis engine. And I think that probably works better than the actual proper Mortis engine. I think that's really, really cool. The thing is, like, the rest of his army is also converted. So all of his Grave Guard are werewolves. It's just pretty sick. Like, and for his Hex Race, he's using the Blade Guard as well. They're painted really good as well. It's really cool.
Are they the Hex Race, the Revenants from Nighthaunt as well?
Yeah, they're called Blade Geist.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, not Blade Guard, Blade Geist. Yeah.
So it's Blade Cards, 40k models, isn't it? Right, Richie is back, so it lets me take my mini break. So enjoy Richie for 5 to 10 minutes while I...
Yeah, you enjoy, mate, you enjoy. Yeah, I know, it's really, really cool. It's the shame that you can't show how nice these models are on the stream. Obviously, I've only got a 1080p camera that's also struggling with this UHP port. I think for the next stream, I'll try and upgrade to a much more expensive setup for it, so you can actually see how nicely painted the models are. Just because, obviously, there's some people that think these aren't nicely painted, and they definitely are. Like it's just really, really cool. The entire army's sick as well, and like all of Scott's stuff is like the really old models as well. He's got a base, he's got a unit filler in there. That's the old Nagash as well, which is just hilarious. Like, you know, the old like 3rd edition Nagash. I really wish you get the anvil back as well. It's just really annoying me. I don't know why it got changed. I think from a marketing perspective from Games Workshop, they've obviously gone, every dwarf army at every event was Iron Drakes and an anvil, so then they just decided to change it, so then everybody would be forced to buy other stuff. Like, I understand that, but at that point in time, that was the only thing that was working for the army. So to take something away from a potentially struggling faction is a little bit annoying. It'd be like taking dragons away from like high elves or wood elves and stuff, you know what I mean? Which I suppose the Stomp Banner has done a little bit as well. So the tipping points to this are, so basically the Tomb Kings are currently on leadership 5 because he's got multiple minuses on them, and then it's been screamed into the characters. Because Scott has got characters on chariots, they can be screamed inside the unit because they are a different unit type. So he's going to be going for them, going to be going for the little points, and then trying to be doing a big charge. I can imagine the Hex Race will probably try and go in the flank of one of the units that doesn't have all of the characters in, and then the Grave Guard are also going to be trying to go in as well. Combat res, and then probably go for just a flyer around the back to stop him from rezzing. I'd say that is the win condition there. Scott's win condition is to get in there and try and push units off the board. He's going to be getting in and trying to out combat res things. He'll be trying to get both of the blobs into one unit if he can do, and just try and get as many attacks with his heroes as possible. So there was a reform earlier on, so he's got his Destroyer of Eternities, I can imagine, in a second rank. Scott, where's the Destroyer of Eternities? So he's currently at the back rank, so when they go into combat, he's going to get flipped to the second rank. So he can't be attacked, but he can do one attack forward because he's not in base-to-base contact. But because the Destroyer of Eternities is its own special thing, it doesn't need more than one attack to be able to do it, because it only does one. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, so third edition, like, it's pretty sick. Like, it's a hilariously rubbish model, but it looks awesome. Like, I love all of the third edition stuff. Like, I'm currently working on a third and fourth edition Expeditionary Force army. I was going to do like some really modern STLs. But I got them and then just like, no, I want to play with the old models. So it's like I can't deal with the newer sculpts. So I'll go back to some nice old models. So we have down here the bats. Have you charged some bats, Scott?
I haven't charged some bats. I've been charged off some battle-lusted bats.
Right, so yeah. I was going to say what you're doing. Yeah, so the bats have been battle-lusted and they have charged into some skirmishing skeletons down the bottom of the board. So in this comp, when skirmishers charge skirmishers, they fan out into a big line as much as the movement can go. Anything that can't make it to the edge of the line in the movement dies in this comp. So that can be pretty bad. Like if you've got a massive unit of skirmishers, that could be absolutely horrendous. Like coherency is a real issue for slower moving skirmishing units, such as like rangers. Like it's quite hard for the little stunty folk with the smaller movement for sure. But those bats being battle lusted is pretty gnarly. I mean, it should be able to kill through all of those skeletons. Like I can't see a world where the skeletons survive this. And then as soon as they smash them, they can start working their way around. And I can imagine their job after this is going to be going after the chariot down the right-hand bottom flank, or potentially going around the side and then going for like a rear charge into the skeleton archers later on. Yeah, no, you do, mate. You really do. And also, if you lose, you could just throw the gyrocopters at your opponent and kill them after the game, actually. Same as, like the old like second edition dreadnoughts, where you could just put them in a sock and just kind of hit people with them. It's the only problem with the full metal armies. Like, I've got my 100 Slayers literally like weighed a ton. Right, so we can see here that the Grave Guard are moving backwards, just trying to make it as hard as possible for Scott. Scott is going to be pushing, going to be coming in and just trying to wear him down. Scott, I think, is going to be as aggressive as he possibly can, where Keith is trying to limit being in combat as much as he possibly can. So he's going to run away, but I think Scott is definitely going to connect in the later turns. Like, he's just going to go for it. Like, Scott needs the points. Keith doesn't necessarily need as many points. He's just going to try and sit on objective, kill a couple of heroes, and just try and whittle some points out that way, where Scott really needs to get in there and try and break at least one of those bricks, or potentially try and kill the Mortis. Remember, a couple of lucky volleys into that Mortis could potentially kill it, so I think that's something that he's probably going to try and go for as well. Yeah, I mean, which Thunderers are you thinking, mate? Are you thinking like the old Marauder Thunderers or the 6th edition ones? I can imagine 6th for yours, right? Yeah, so just trolling on eBay, that's probably the best way to go, I think, for the old models. You can just be a nightmare trying to find them, that's the issue. Yeah, I mean, that completely works as well. Right, so the position where the zombies are next to the hill, so they're not towing onto the hill at all, so they can't currently be seen by anything. So if you'd have towed them up onto the hill, they could have potentially been shot. They haven't been rezzed at all, so all of the rezzes have been going into the zombies on the other side of the board, which started out with the same number. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Blood Knights do. We could potentially see them coming up to a right angling round, because these are drilled, remember? So they'll come up and set themselves up for a really nice shot. Ooh, he's going around there. It's really interesting. I'm really surprised that he's... No, actually. So he is gone for a skirmishing 10-man unit, setting up for next turn rather than trying to go into any of the blobs. I'm really surprised by that. I thought he was going to set up to be a flank charge or pretend. Oh, right. No, he's gone this way. He's gone this way. Right. So he's setting up for next turn. There is another unit of 10 skirmishers, literally a millimeter off camera, that he is going to try and go for, that are in the woods with the horses. So the unit of the skeletons there, they are in combat, which means that the Blood Knights can be within an inch of them, because it gets rid of the 1 inch rule as soon as a unit is in combat. So the Blood Knights can be within an inch of them. I will find out now for you, actually. Keith, what are your Graveguard? What models are they? Fleshcraft Studio. Right, Fleshcraft Studio Lycanthropes. Dave's just coming back now, and then when Dave gets back, I will literally just jump up and I will bring my model over. So I'm just going to bring. So basically, the Blood Knights have moved up here. So got within 1 inch of the unit of skeletons down there to charge into the skeletons next to them behind. Obviously, they ignore the 1 inch move because they're in combat. Which I thought was a bit weird because I thought the Blood Knights were going to pull up the other side of the hill and go in for a flank charge into the bob when it started to come forwards. I thought that was what he was going to try and do.
So, unless he ties up the front of the unit as well, it just all that'll happen is that.
No, exactly. I thought he was going to set up a nice, juicy double charge.
It's what Scott would want him to do. Scott wants him in there. He'll grind him with the blobbing.
I know, but I'm still surprised he's not doing it though. Get greedy for points on game 4.
Too experienced, like.
Yeah, not as much greed as we'd like to see on the stream. I don't think. Game 1 back to Nicolas Boucher. That's the kind of greed that we want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, this is one of those games. Like, this is 2 Titans with 2 Titan lists as well. Like, realistically, this is probably a 10-10 game every day. But they need the point, so one is going to have to try and push. So
more likely Scott's going to push. He'll let him charge. He wants to grind, and the later it is, we got 2 more screams going in.
Yes, right. I'm going to go grab some of the. I'm going to go grab one of the Graveguards so I can show everybody at home if you're interested in them. 2
this
seconds.
could be the chariot. So he has got 10 wounds through on the first scream. It's a very big moment. So 6 wounds into the Chariot Herald. Does have a ward save.
So this is one of the Graveguards. So Graveguard Poxies. He's using the Lycanthrope models.
Nagash here. He lives.
Oh, he's surviving.
Scott proving himself to be imperishable.
So we talked through the lists earlier on in this. There are 3 review videos, so you can go check out on Edge Channel in Close Order, on Pash Hammer as well. They did list reviews, and also on the Imperishable, which is Bryn's channel, which is a Tomb Kings focused channel as well. So yeah, you can go and have a look for all of those. Now, Orion's Hunt. It's very interesting you should say this because
we were talking about this earlier. So there's a video that Richie did with Keith. I believe it's part of the How to Win series. So if you check through the older videos for Richie, Keith runs through the entire list that he took. But yeah, it was a very full send, aggressive, dragons, wild riders. It was pretty cool. So screams, again, proven to be ineffective. Scott with the ward save magic that we all know and love. I seem to recall a game that I had with Scott into a Mort Cult list where I put 3 fanatics through his lich and did 0 wounds through his ward save. So pretty rough when he gets it going. But it does look like some of the skeleton skirmishers are probably going to go down here. So it's some bats against some skelly skirmishers. 3 hits. So the bats haven't wiped out the skirmies, but I feel like they're going to have a slow death, but it's not going to be as significant. That is 50 points worth of skeleton skirmishers. Pretty irrelevant by all standards, I'll have to say, but moral victories so far for Keith. And the biggest moral victory, Dave is still alive, so the important things. It's for the best. So we're swinging into good pace of game. It's nice to see that the pace is kicked up today. People are more conscious of the time. I know we didn't get many finished games yesterday in the rounds, but things speeding up as the sort of the top players versus the top players. We feel like we're going to have a situation of Scott moving forwards Reid. So Chariot healed back to full. Nothing has happened. Yes, it does. So if you have an ignore armor, you don't have the ability to roll an armor save, which would override the special rule of saying that you can't be modified. You're not modifying the armor of meteoric iron. You are just ignoring its existence. So if you get hit with, say, a Vile Tide, you are not able to roll a meteoric iron against it. Scott, turn.
It's now turn 4.
Bottom, top.
Top 4.
There we are. We just asked the boys there. It's top of turn 4, so good pace. This one's going to the 6 turns. 4 turns, nothing has particularly happened. However, they are posturing. They're having a great old time. We could potentially have an interview with Stan from Forgotten North, but he's walking away. He's not interested in it, so... turn 4, though. So Scott just going through his command phase. We have Glittering Robe off. He has healed the Chariot back to full, so that unit is now back to full health. He is looking to go. He's got movement, so he is pushing forwards again.
So just a little quick update from the Charlie Pash game. Charlie is trying to be super aggressive, but Pash has put a column of crystal in front of the Graveguard that Charlie hasn't been able to get rid of. So
he needs the stuff.
He does need the stuff. Yeah. So Charlie has been scuppered by a column of crystal so far. So that's looking a little bit drawy at the moment.
Yeah.
But
which favours Pash for the tournament. That's all he needed to do. Charlie had to be the more aggressive of the two players. So...
Right, so the template has gone in.
We'll now do some dangerous terrains on some skeletons. Once again...
Yeah, at least it's not the Chariot going through, because there'll be D3 wounds on a 1, so that would be pretty bad. I mean, the dangerous terrain on skeletons isn't the biggest of deals, I don't think, to be perfectly honest.
No, I don't think Scott cares about his skeletons at all.
No.
He's not the kindest of men.
No, he does not care for the dry lives.
No.
Well,
the dry lives matter.
Yeah, the dry
Scott needs to learn.
But I think he's just going to bring them back anyway, right?
But as expected, Scott's the more aggressive of the two. I'll be interested to see if they... Oh, Dave is coming forwards. Scott risking Dave. So
we
are still on the full draw here. Keith will go ahead by about 50 points when these skeleton skirmishes die. Then 100 points from the Blood Knights too. It's huge. He only needs to kill one of the giant blobs to get himself over that 300-point threshold, though. So, yeah.
Yeah. He needs to kill that Chariot in the unit to be able to try and push this above a draw.
Yeah.
And
so Scott pushing the smaller unit forwards now as well. It is huge, so he gets to stay on the objective and still shoot.
Yeah. So he is shooting around the corner. One of the strongest things I think about Tomb Kings with their shooting is the fact that they always hit on 5s. So normally, if that was a normal unit shooting at those zombies, they would be hitting on like 7s or 8s potentially. But the fact that even though 99% of the unit's covered, the Tomb Kings still always hit on 5s.
Yeah.
It's just so irritating. And the Ushabti always hitting on 4s as well.
It's one of the modifications I'd kind of like to see to Tomb Kings is like the skeleton skirmish. The skeletons are fine, but I'd almost like to see a Shabdi lose Arrows of Asaf and try to actually play the game a little bit like the rest of us. There's a lot of modifiers, and it's a lot easier for them to just go, no, I'm ignoring it. But there are some zombies dying.
So he has managed to kill 6 zombies with a volley of arrows. Which...
By turn 12, they should die at the current rate of death. So
Yeah.
One of the big strengths here, though, is obviously with the size of the unit, Scott can move onto that hill. That gives him line of sight from the front, which means he gets to full volley. They do.
Yeah, no, they really do. Like,
even with the changes to poison, Tomb Kings are probably the one that's least affected by the change.
Yeah, like I think poison is absolutely fine. Like it wasn't the change to poison that I think nerfed a lot of the poison shooting lists. It was the fact that not every single model in the unit could shoot at large targets. That was the issue.
Yeah.
Because goblins shooting at dragons, you're still wounding on 4s with poison, right? So that's still really, really good. So that would only drop the consistency down a little bit. But it's not the entire unit being able to shoot. So you can't, outside of the Royal Host. The Royal Host can.
They have a special rule which lets them always volley.
Yeah, which is the reason why you take the biggest units you possibly can to try and make the most use out of these volleys. And it's also, the way the volley fire works, you can always round up as well. So you always try and go for odd numbers for the width of the units. Get the most damage potential out of them, right?
Is... 2 wounds, I think, onto the Mortis there. Let's see if he heals them back.
Yeah.
One of the things here that's quite strong is without the reroll to the healing, by spreading the wounds across both the zombies and the Mortis engine, it does make Keith have to make decisions as to what he's going to heal. So he can start putting pressure.
Come on, boys.
To pressure the heals, make it a little bit more difficult for him to actually heal everything up back to front.
Yeah, it's really strong. It's definitely one of the strengths. Like that and Phalanx as well. Like Phalanx is just so annoying. It's a really, really good list. The only downside I would say to the Royal Host is the fact it doesn't, especially this version of it, doesn't actually have that much heals.
Yeah.
So if you can get high, and I mean really high weight of number attacks into it, so an army that's very, very good into this is a Tomb Guard block with the 3 Necrotechs, because the Necrotechs do stack. They are probably one of the only models in the game that do actually stack their buffs.
Yeah.
So you can get 4 attacks onto the Tomb Guard, and then also you're casting magic on them as well to get even more attacks, get reroll 1s. Like those things are scary. Like, really,
I mean,
really
this
scary.
is a huge moment in the game. Keith has just scored 50 points by turn 4 by killing a unit of skeleton skirmishers. Reckless from Scott to just leave them hanging out there, because that 50 points is wholly irrelevant to the game. It's all down to this chariot dying to the 2 screams. If it dies, good times. If it doesn't, Dave's coming.
He is.
Dave's a charging. He's going to charge the flank of some zombies here.
I love it. It's just, obviously it's not really going to do anything, but what it is it's something else that Keith's going to have to think about. Like, is he going to have to turn those zombies to face? It just makes him think.
So top of 4 now. And he's healed.
Like, trying to blink wound undead is just horrendous. It's one of the reasons why currently, previous to the UK Masters comp anyway, like dwarves would struggle really, really hard into vampires.
Yeah.
So we rely on doing plink damage, but plink damage over 6 turns does kill stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas vampires, no. Like you could
Steal
do
them back.
Yeah, like you could do 20 wounds to a Mortis over a game, but then they're just going to get all of them back, which is just really, really annoying, to be perfectly honest. No, they were. Unfortunately, I don't think he actually played into any undead so far. He's played into Tomb Kings twice, but they're not so much of a tech into that. He's teched into vampire counts, but unfortunately didn't play into them, and then just got
They're
whacked.
largely there just to chase the dragons and charge at the same time, absorb the challenges and let the dragons do their work. But the problem is controlling them is the challenge. Luckily, there's no Orcs and Goblins, because Orcs and Goblins love some Frenzied Corn Knights. Favourite thing. What's that? You have to charge through the fanatics. Oh no!
I know, yeah.
That's
And
bad.
depending on comp as well, if the Fanatic's classed as a unit and you've got to charge a Fanatic as well.
Yeah, that's a silly one that will stop at some point, but
It is a little bit of a silly one for sure. I'm interested to see if Scott's going to start pushing up onto that hill in a minute.
So he will on his next turn. I think he can get to the front of the hill to get line of sight for the full volley while staying on the baggage train and the objective. So he can still protect everything that he needs to protect. He is pushing with Dave to see if he can have a flank charge maybe with the zombies. But Scott, the more aggressive player so far. I think those Blood Knights are going to charge some Skeleton Skirmishers and make it a massive 100 points lead for Keith. But we are looking like a 10-10 here.
Yeah. I mean, at least Scott's going for it. Morning, mate. How's it going? You okay? Welcome to the game. So this is UK Masters round 4. We've got Keith Wilkinson playing into Scott Reid. This is dry versus wet undead. Probably going to be a draw, I think. But Scott's going to push. He's going to slam into him. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm super excited to see whether Scott can actually get into combat. I hope he does.
Well, maybe by turn 6.
Yeah.
It's the slow, inevitable trundle at the moment. He is stuck on difficult and dangerous terrain. He's not being able to get rid of the vortexes so far. It's one of the dangers of...
I'll leave you with this, Dave. You are the Orc and Goblins player.
No, they won't. They can't change that. I mean, Fanatics have had a nerf every FAQ that's come through. They are necessary for Orcs and Goblins to be competitive. If they nerf the Fanatics, then they will be basically on the dwarf level.
Oh, cheers, mate. To be fair, something I would quite like to see actually with Fanatics is bringing back the old. So if you get within 8 of them, they automatically just come out. I would quite like to see that again. Because then as averagely, you're going to be able to get the charge through. Obviously, you'd be able to bait them out. But if you're not running loads of like fast skirmishers and stuff, then it would almost have the same effect, I think.
I'm not impressed with the idea. They're a tactical piece. Like you can play around them very effectively. I think we had this conversation with James Ramsey in the run-up to Worlds that I think actual use of Fanatics is one of the elements that can make you a good player or not. It's difficult, especially into the likes of Bretonia. Anything with really long charge ranges can effectively bait the Fanatics and then refuse the charge, and just leave them flapping in the wind effectively. So not releasing all your Fanatics early, and if somebody releases Fanatics, a little tip, don't charge through them.
Yeah.
Done wise.
Yeah, definitely don't charge for it. Interesting to see that there are no Orcs and Goblins at Masters. There are Chaos Dwarf Army that is using an Orc and 5, obviously, of the tax Orcs, but there are no Orcs and Goblins here, which is a bit of a shame, I think. Actually.
It's one of the major problems with Orcs and Goblins is, as a teams list, they're pretty good, but in singles, they just have a very poor matchup into Vampires. And the Northeast and the top 24 have got quite a few vampire players, so I don't think anyone can risk bringing Orcs and Goblins.
Yeah. I believe we are on turn...
Bottom of 4. Top of 4, sorry.
Top of 4. Bottom of 4. So they are on bottom of 4, so we are spanking through this game. It's going pretty quick. And it's actually, I think this is the furthest we've gotten at any of the streams so far. The last 3 games didn't actually make it out of turn 3, which is kind of hilarious. So I think we're actually going to see a finished game here. It is Keith just basically trying to run away for the entire game. But
he's eyeing up Dave here. No, I think Fanatics have gone through a progression in the old world. So at the start of the edition, where you could have 10 Night Goblins with 3 Fanatics in a marching column and dart them up the board for next to no cost, they were way too much. I think the tax of the 30 Goblins to get the 3 Fanatics is fine. You now can't marching column them, and you can't release them when you are fleeing. That is enough changes to them to bring them to balance. The main tip with it, if you are playing Orcs and Goblins, don't charge through the Fanatics.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, everybody, all they did was moan about the fact that everybody was just running monsters and skirmishes, and everybody wants more infantry in the game, but the best infantry in the game is undead.
Yeah.
So we're obviously going to see bigger units of undead to start with, and then as they progressively buff the all infantry, then we'll start seeing normal armies looking like this. Like we'll start seeing massive elf spearmen bricks the same size as this. It's just we need to see more progressive buffs for infantry. It's starting. The fact that undead are moving to big infantry blocks is a positive sign for the meta shift. And then as soon as it starts to trickle down into the other armies, and that's really, really good.
I think that it's fair enough. To be honest, Night Goblins are, with them being core, and can get to 6 on the combat res as standard. They're just very, very good stable core that in the right matchup can do a lot of damage. But more so, I think Fanatics effectively are a defensive piece more than an aggressive piece. They're trying to now in 1.5 get the Night Goblins on an objective and slowly trickle out your Fanatics to make the charges not worth it for your opponent, and it just ramps up the scoring for them. The whole sort of march up 12 inches with a marching column, arcane urgency, do it again, and then release 3 Fanatics into the deployment zone. Those days are long gone. So I'm firm that they're pretty balanced. They do nothing to undead, especially.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if the Sentinel build is probably the way to go.
I would, if you're doing Sentinels, I would do the ones where you get the bound spell. And that gives you the option of giving them the ward save. It gives you an option to switch it up. I kind of like that Sentinel. You've got a fighty piece for the ward save in the right matchup. You've got a piece that can walk around the flanks and cast fireballs. Pick the spells is really good. So that's the one I would go for. Either that or an Obsidian Sentinel if you're playing into a heavy cannon meta.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's still a hard game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what you're looking for if you're playing into Night Goblins, first charge is huge. If you can get first charge onto anything, so the chariots are really good. The ability to disrupt ranks, because the key thing with Night Goblins is they're low leadership. They're relying on Warband to do anything. So if you can manipulate their ranks, you're going to have a very good time. So as much as Bretonians hate Fanatics, they're actually very strong into Orcs and Goblins as well, because they can. If you can bait out those Fanatics early, position well, and then remember it's a 6-turn game, you don't need to charge the first chance you've got through 3 Fanatics. Let them release them, wait, reposition, and then go.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, interesting one here. So, how do you get invited to the UK Masters? All the tournaments playing the same comp? No. So, it's actually a result for going to any GT. I know RTTs do count towards it as well, but you really need to get results in 2-day tournaments. But that can be any comp, like any comp's allowed. Like you could go to like the Welsh Open, you could go to any of the events that run the Renegades rules. All of those count towards it as well. I think something that they're also going to be putting in for the next season, which I think is potentially getting voted in, is potentially also adding in some of the soft scoring stuff as well. But I'm not too sure on that one, whether that's going to get voted in or not. But that will be a community vote for that. Because they do put out polls. I mean, there was 200 votes on what should change for Masters next year. So this is very community driven.
Yeah.
Right, so this is -3 from the Scream. Right, so he's fine on the first one. I'm fine on the second one.
He needs that Spirit Leech to be relevant.
Yeah. So he's just not doing too well with those Screams. I mean, he's just managed to do only a couple of wins so far. So the Screams not doing much in this.
Dave lives. Dave lives.
So the Chariot is alive.
He's just took a scream to the face and says, I do not care. I am Dave, the imperishable.
It's just hilarious, isn't it? Right, I'm really hoping to see a massive push now.
Stopping it. Dave lives.
I mean, now the Chariot's alive, I just want to see a massive push.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on, smash.
Dave is leading the way. So a reserve moving around. He's trying to protect his zombie's flank from Dave. Potentially. Is he offering the battle of the Dave versus the Mortis? Yeah.
Boo. Boo. Keith here being a
He can
coward.
see him.
Oh, no, he can now.
Dave's going in.
Yeah, Dave's going in.
Dave's going in.
I mean,
Dave's not going in. Keith the coward.
Keith almost making a mistake there and just not going for it. Yeah, he almost played a game.
I feel like by turn 15, we will see combat.
I mean, this is the
Keith
fault of everybody
at
watching
risk.
yesterday when they wanted to watch the Tomb Kings play.
Keith at risk here. That he could push.
I don't know. I mean, it's the terrain, isn't it? That's the problem. It's the dangerous terrain.
So it's almost like watching Thriller at this point, where the zombies are just dancing their way backwards, wanting nothing to do with the dry undead.
I mean, no, it's almost a shame that he doesn't have a little bit of, a spell that could potentially push them off the board.
Yeah. He doesn't, though.
No, he doesn't. I mean, that would have been glorious, I think.
But one give ground and he's off. I think we're just going to see the inevitable march of Scott Reid.
All the dangerous terrain's the problem. I can't dispel any of the goddamn
If only you had the stuff, like I said.
It's going on next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott has confirmed he is bringing the stuff.
Yeah, the problem with this list is it just doesn't have any decent spellcasters or dispellers. Like, it's only being a level
As soon as one of these vortexes go off. So one of the items I think is really interesting for these sort of builds in the new Warriors of Chaos journal is the Staff of Quietude, or as it was initially leaked, the Stuff of Quietude, which is now its name, which is if you can pass a leadership test, have you got the stuff? It will remove all of the remains in play spells in the game. So all those vortexes disappear. It's a single leadership test. Typically on Undead, there would be... yes, John Dale. There is.
There's a couple now.
There's an item that I told Scott to take in his list that he didn't take because he doesn't listen to Dave, just Scott.
Yeah. So we did go through the lists earlier on this stream. So if you kind of just go back, you can go see them. If not, if you want to see them on BCP, you will have to be a member of BCP. That's a them thing. That's not a Masters thing, unfortunately. Or you can have a look at the list reviews that they did on Pashhammer, Close Order, and also the Imperishable YouTube channels as well. So there's quite a few different places to be able to see all of the lists, but we did run through it at the beginning of the video. But if you want a different screen up, then you can run one of the other YouTube videos.
With Jack now playing today, I might do a little sweep to see how everybody's getting on elsewhere, so if we can get an update run for you guys. Hey, it's Tutankhamun, Dave, the ultimate chariot. Right, I'm going to do a quick run.
Nice. If you're a BCP member, then you'll actually be able to see all of them. So you'll be able to get in there. It's like annoying that you've got to be a member to be able to check them out, but it's what it is. It's a BCP thing. It's not an us thing. So how is everybody doing in the chat? You all right? Scott is definitely trying to push forward. Keith is being a coward. He wants to try and maintain as many points as you want. The problem is if Keith ends up going in and committing too much, then he could potentially lose one of his bricks. He can't afford to drop any points at this point in the event. They need to push. If they're going to try and get for that win, they need to get like minimum 8, 9, 10 points in this game. Obviously, if they want more than that, then they're going to have to push really hard. Scott's going for it, but he just can't dispel any of that magic. He's only got a level 1 dispeller, so he's just not getting rid of any of those vortexes. It's slightly annoying. Yeah. Right. Hopefully he can push. Yeah, 100%. So this is why he took them. Yeah, it's just a lot more punch into them. So like a massive unit of Vargeist, like even a max size unit of Vargeist would be so deadly into these blocks. But the problem is you would have to be able to lock those characters up. So you would have to charge into the front of the unit so the characters couldn't just peek into the flanks. Like, if you've got a unit of Vargeist that are getting smashed by a Tomb King and a Tomb Prince, they're not going to be around too much longer. So it's really hard to protect where they're going to go because of the fly and the frenzy as well. So they're very hard to use, but if people can get them down, then they're very deadly into units like this. Yeah, no, they're really hard to control. I mean, I can imagine we're probably going to see Charlie on the next stream. I can imagine anyway. But we'll have to see how he gets on against Pash. I'm not sure how that's game going. It was looking quite 10-10 at the moment. So we'll have to see how that one goes. I'm not sure. Obviously, Cafe, very strong. Vampire Counts, very strong. But they're both very good generals. And the Longmas and stuff are quite good into the Vamps as well. But with the Vargeist, they can smash through that balloon. So that's going to be probably a bit of a bloody game, if Charlie wants it to be a bloody game anyway. He does need to get up the points. There is 7 points in between them, so Charlie really needs to catch up. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, 100%. Like, he doesn't have to worry too much in this game. There's nothing that can kind of get through that block. Obviously, the Hex Wraiths and the other ethereals are popping up around the back. So Keith is potentially lining something up. Like, he could be trying to go for... There is a potential trap with the Graveguard charging into the front, zombies into the flank, and then the Hex Wraiths into the rear. This is a potential. So I think my favourite list this weekend, unfortunately, was the person that dropped out. My favourite list was the Skaven, which he ended up dropping out. He's now playing in the Open today because he's replaced Tom Carley. So Tom had to drop. His mother-in-law had a car crash, totaled the car. So he had to go back and drop out of Masters. So he played in the Masters Open yesterday, which is a side event going on for people who didn't qualify for the Masters. And then Mott, who had to drop from the Masters as well yesterday due to illness, is playing in that today. So the Skaven is playing down there, but I would have loved to have seen the Skaven playing in the Masters. I mean, in this field, I think it's quite good. So he was running loads and loads of Death Globes. So like Master Assassins with Death Globes, they're ballistic skill 6. So he's like running around the board, move and shoot, throwing them and just causing absolute carnage. Like, he can delete units of Graveguard. So it was a real army that was tacked into playing against vampires. So I think if he could have survived the shooting armies and survived the mid-table meta, once he'd have got to the vampire counts, it would have been so good for him. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that. I mean, Jack's an amazing player as well. So the fact he was going to bring Skaven was just kind of hilarious rather than just bringing vampires. But he's been teching into them for a little bit now. So that would have been a glorious army to see. There was also the Dark Elves, which is like the massive units of Shades. That was a bit of like a what the hell moment. That's currently playing into Nuln. I think the Nuln is ripping it apart though. Even with the -1 to hit from being in skirmish, it's just not saving them, I don't think. It's just too many weight of fire coming into toughness 3. Dave is in combat. He's going for it. I don't know how this is going to end. I mean, if he can stop some of the magic kicking off, then this is potentially a really good move. But if Dave dies now, this is not good. This is not good. Yes, Rambo. How's it going, mate? You're right. Scott, Rambo's watching you host with the most, mate.
Yeah, go on, Rambo.
James Ramsey also loves a host list. For anybody out there, so the Royal Host, we like to call it the host with the most, and the Blobbin, and this is the double Blobbin.
Come on, boy. Come on,
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that, to be fair. I think my lowest toughness is toughness 4, apart from when I play against goblins, and then it's suddenly like toughness 3 or toughness 2. But yeah, toughness 3 is it's hard to play around with, especially in the current meta for sure. Oh, one of them's just knocked the camera. Right, Dave did okay. Actually managing to not die was quite good effort. Didn't manage to lock him up though, which was a little bit of a shame. If he could have stopped them spellcasting and escaping next turn, I think that would have been really, really good. But yeah, he's not managing to do it, unfortunately.
How dare you charge him coming back?
So the Blood Knights are slightly off camera, unfortunately. So they are literally at the bottom, about to charge up into Dave. So I think we're going to see the Blood Knights start trying to enter the game very, very soon. They've been off kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, we're going to start seeing them very, very soon.
So we are back. We've done the run of the room.
Yeah.
Charlie versus Pash.
Yeah.
We still have the column in play.
Is the column still there?
The column's still there. It's very much a repeat of this game. There is a lot of talk about the Staff of Quietude going on because it seems to be these vortexes are really dominating games.
For everybody out there, take the Staff of Quietude.
Take the Staff of Quietude.
Take the stuff.
You've got to have the stuff. If you've got the stuff, you'll not be in a huff.
Yeah.
But that is looking like it's potentially a 10-10. Charlie may be able to swing it round into a small win. It depends on if that column goes. It's just very, very tightly played. Pash knows what he needs to get, so he's not mucking around with it. In terms of other Team England players here, Sam Freestone is having a bit of a rough time. His friend, his fellow Deadly Boy, is looking like he could potentially table him.
Well, that is High Elves playing into Cathay. I mean, that's never going to be a good game, right?
Steve versus Nicholas Boucher. Still has 2 dragons on the board.
Okay, so we're Chaos going into Wild Herd. When I walked around earlier, Steve was just basically skirting around miles out of Wild Herd range. So I think that's probably the tactic he's going to be going for, I think.
And then moving on to Sam Toll into Ed Fawcett. That's looking like a tight game. Yeah. There is a big combat going on again. There is a central blob of combat into that game. We've got a Black Coach and Graveguard into the Gorebrick, and then Hex Race going into the Dragon Ogres on that one. So potentially a big swing there. And Jack Toll is currently behind against Dr. Luke. However, he has engineered a very favourable combat for himself as well with the Pegasus Knights.
Yeah, that's a pretty spicy game. When I walked past earlier, they were just swirling around each other in S's. So it's Pegasus on Pegasus, Exiles on Exiles, Cannibals flying everywhere. That's a gnarly game.
It is. It could be swinging back towards Jack. We'll have to see how that combat goes.
Yeah.
But back to the game. Things are happening.
Yeah, I think
Spirit Leech going in.
Yeah, I think Dr. Luke's actually in quite a good stead with points-wise, I think, in the tournament at the moment. So if he gets like a big win on the next one...
Well, we're going to get some more big screamings.
So quickly before we start seeing what's going on, I think the most impactful thing is just the fact that hopefully they nerf the Cathay balloons.
Yeah.
And then I think they're going to be more of like a static gun line, which is definitely easier to deal with. I think
it depends on how good the gun line is, though.
Yeah, I think the crane guns, the Giselle looking guns, I think they'll be probably a mainstay. I think just as long as they're not ballistic skill 4, I won't moan too much.
Yeah, I quite like if you can get the Iron Hail gunners as well. The potential of rumours that we may have seen on other YouTube channels that they may have ambush, which could cause a bit of problems to deal with because there's a lot of shots that come out. Sure. But ballistic skill 4 Giselles horrifies me.
Yeah, I mean, they probably will be. The thing about the Iron Hail guns, like, I think it's fine because, they've got a lot of shots.
Skill 3, they'll be fine.
They can do a lot of shots. They can do a lot of damage, but they are on squishy toughness 3 guys.
Yeah,
so you can deal with that.
The thing that is amongst the things, I should say, that are problematic with the balloons, with it being a large target, you can't interact with it in terms of giving yourself cover as easily.
Yeah.
So if they're just guys on foot, even if the ballistics are skill 4, you can get them to hitting on 6s and 7s really quite easily. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. But the balloon, with it being a large target, is much more tricky to do.
Yeah. No, definitely. There are all kind of buffs on that unit now and debuffs.
There are. Is it -5 for the screams again? So we will see if the chariot falls this time.
I'm not even gonna comment on that, Mark.
They taught Dwarfs out of Warhammer, mate.
They didn't do anything. I'm not accepting that retcon.
They didn't know about grudging until the Cathay told them about it.
Cathay invented a grudge, I heard.
Yeah, Cathay got grumpy one day and invented the grudge. Dwarf saw it and thought, well, I'll get involved with that.
Yeah.
I like this grudging lark.
I'm not. I don't accept it. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
I'm just going to ignore it. It's fine. It's like the 6 cafe balloons armies. Just imagine they're not there and it's fine. It's got some hefty minuses on that unit now. Like I can see probably the chariot getting popped now, I think. Yeah, probably, mate. Pretty nightmare. I believe. I mean, I just hope it's not too good. I mean, it probably won't be, but hopefully it's nothing like the cafe balloons anyway.
Keith once again with the walk-in backwards.
Right,
he's going after Dave. Scott has given up Dave.
Yeah, so there's no impact hits happening with the Mortis engine because it was within 3. I don't know what he was doing there.
Just having a little shimmy.
Right.
So this has been a bit of a barnstormer, boys. This is the joys of the...
Yeah, just he's trying not to commit. He's just trying to play as safe as possible. So absolutely nobody, no one at UK Masters has run the balloon lists.
It was comped out.
It was comped out, to be fair. So Pasha's got 1 balloon, and that's pretty much I think there's one listed with 2, right?
I do like this at top level play. So 2 screams at -5 into the chariot again.
Oh, that's big.
No.
That was Dave.
Oh, was that Dave?
Yeah.
Nice.
Poor Dave just got shouted at.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in the naughty corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dave is dead.
Dave is dead.
Yeah, so like in Italy, I know the Italian Masters, like half of the field was cafe. Yeah. So half of the players were running the balloon spam, and people just didn't want to play that here.
It's one of those things that created a environment where all of the ridiculous lists that we ended up taking was just because we needed something that could deal with 3 balloons. Was simply it. When I played Cathay, eventually we had it so that we had 150 skeletons, but they were 50 wide to stop the bombs.
Yeah.
You know, it's oppressive, and then you've got to do silly things to stop that.
And also as well, there's hardly anything that can deal with the 3 balloons. This is the thing. Like in the completely uncomped where you can take 6 or 7, just a nightmare. Like I haven't found anything in a dwarf army that can
7 balloons. Nothing.
No, absolutely nothing.
Unless you've got an all ethereal list, because none of it does any damage to it.
Yeah. I mean that also works as well. Like even taking stuff that you get a better save against flaming, like it's just the weight of attacks. Like my unit of 100 Slayers with a 5 at wall just got absolutely bonked. Like there's nothing you can do about it, to be fair. Right. Keith, what's going on now? Ticks. Right, so he's managed to get rid of
the spiritual vortex finally.
Nice. Finally, it's gone. Right, so Scott is going to be able to move this turn and going to be able to push forwards. Finally.
We just had a report, Sam Freestone did get 20-0'd by his pal. It was Brummy on Brummy violence. Beaten by the man who takes Cathay to his own tournament.
I know.
No shame.
No shame at all. So basically, if you have movement, you have to maximize. So if you can maximize, you have to, basically. You also have to take the shortest possible route to be able to get a legal charge as well. So there's a lot of kind of steps to this, but you do have to make sure that it is maximized if you have the movement to maximize it. If they are just on the edge of your movement and you physically can't go any further, then you can corner to corner. But you do need to be able to make sure that you can maximize. Yeah. This is the thing. I think balloons, because I think the really crazy ones are probably 3-15 points, right? I think if they
It's
were
the 10 wounds with a ward save.
Yeah,
It's so
like,
hard to kill them.
I think if they were like 480 points, I think people would still take them. And if you're still taking something when it's like almost 500 points, then that means that it's potentially far too good at a lower points level. But I'm hopeful to see some rules changes, even if it is just points increases or potentially a couple of the rules go in. Like I would like to see potentially Unbreakable go.
Yeah.
It just makes it slightly obnoxious to play into, but it is what it is. We'll ride it out. I mean, we've had dwarves get massively hit. We've had wood elves get massively hit in the past. We have found that when people don't like stuff, Games Workshop does hammer it into the ground. The same with the poison shooting as well. Like Games Workshop will do something about it. It's just taken them quite a long time to do it with this.
What they need to do to remove balloons so much from the meta is bring back the Gobbo Star. Bring back the old Gobbo Star. That'll get rid of your balloons.
Well, this
for
is
you.
the thing. Like 1.5,
I would pop on a turn.
Yeah, like 1.5, they took away a lot of the army's answers into large targets, which would have dealt with the balloons. Like if we had everything shooting at large targets and poison left as it was, balloons would not be the issue that they are now. If they hadn't have hit the troll hammers, for instance, like if I could have 3 units shooting with 3 cannons as well, I would be fine into cannons, but we just can't smash them through, which is slightly annoying. So I'm hoping for next week or the week after would be really, really nice. We don't know if it's going to get pushed back a little bit. Obviously got zero idea what it's going to be. There's loads like rumors and leaks going around, but I'm just trying personally to not pay any attention to them because all of the leaks that we've had before have been absolutely rubbish. Like I think personally that whenever we get leaks or they're just wish lists or something, if any of them probably are true, I can imagine Games Workshop probably just change them once they're released if it's too early anyway. So I wouldn't take too much stock into what's been leaked and stuff at the moment because I can imagine Games Workshop would just change it anyway.
And it looks like we're finishing up here, so we may be getting the boys up for a chat in a moment.
It looks like Scott didn't manage to get into combat, which is a bit of a shame. So this has just basically been a pushback, which is a little bit annoying, really, but it is what it is. Saw a little bit of combat with the chariot into the Mortis.
You asked for the undead.
Yeah, this is everybody's fault yesterday.
This is the chat's fault. You asked for this.
Requested a Scott with the royal host.
Gluttons for punishment.
Too much industry. If only I had the stuff required.
If only you had the stuff, Scott.
Yeah. If you'd have had the stuff, you'd have been fine.
If only somebody told you.
How much I regret not having the stuff required.
Right, do you boys want to come in and talk?
I've always said.
Oh, is it 6? Right, we're going into. It is turn 6.
Oh,
it is
turn 6. More screams.
Can he kill
the chariot?
That chariot? Yeah, I think this is the only question he wants to answer now, I think. It's quite funny that players are getting absolutely scuppered by by the templates. It's quite funny.
He's got it.
I know. The fact that dwarves now just have awful cannons as well, it hurts. Like, it really hurts. Strength 8, AP 2, and only D3 damage.
So we get the Spirit Leech off.
Oh, Spirit Leech is off.
They drew on Orcust. Nearly stopped it on 11.
I mean, Nagash wins here, I think. Like, if either of them win, Nagash wins. If they draw, Nagash wins. So it's the Master Necromancer that takes this.
He's going straight into the screams.
All right, here we go. This is a big roll, everybody. The Spirit Leech is on.
He's got to go for the Vortex too.
Oh, getting a reroll on the staff. Right, Vortex is off.
So this is -5 on 2 screams.
Right, he's got this.
He's done it 6 turns in a row. Can he survive this?
It'll be the last dice roll of the game that does it, 100%. Right, so 1 wound.
He's safe for now. This is where the double 6 comes from, Scott.
Yeah. Or a double 1. Right. No, he's still alive. Can't kill him. That is the game. Awesome.
There we have it.
Right, so... Right, yeah. So, unfortunately, there was no points taken from Scotland to him, so that is going to end up as a draw. We will get both of them on to come and chat in a second, but I think Nagash won this game.
Yeah, I think this is what we call the Andy Orkin special.
Yeah.
A lot has happened whilst nothing has happened. It's impressive, but I'm going to dash out to let the boys jump on the stream with you to have your chat. So
no problem at all.
We'll speak to you in the next round.
Yeah. Scott, Keith, come on, boys. Right, I'll get these two on to talk through their game, and they can explain everything that happened or potentially didn't happen anyway. Right, here we go.
Ugh. We've lost Keith.
How was that? Straw.
Hello.
So that went probably about as well as we expected. Almost exactly how we expected.
It was 10-10 all the way through last night. This morning we chatted about it. And they had to get his chariot to get 11-9. Can't pop that
Yeah,
big bunker.
it's the bunkers. The list did what it does, which is just not die.
Doesn't give up points.
Definitely changing the list to put Stafford quiet. You know, that absolutely ruined my life.
Yeah, definitely.
And Dave's going to be super happy about it as well.
Yeah,
Yes, I.
nicest man in Warhammer here. Santa
this
Claus.
guy.
Warhammer Santa Claus.
Nothing but good games against this guy every time we play. Like that list is what it is. Like we talked as soon as the draw came out last night.
We both went that's it. We're done.
10-10.
At the Masters now.
We
top
now
three
need to.
tops.
We at best when you get really aggressive in game 3 to try to podium, but
Full
otherwise, so game 3 could be spicy.
Full send
Sorry,
20 now.
game 5. Game 5. Good luck, mate.
Cheers, man.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers, Rich.
Awesome, no worries at all. Right, let's get back in. Right, so thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll try and get the final game on really, really soon. The final is going to be horrendously spicy. So we can actually see who's going to win the UK Masters. This is actually a really big result for everybody around them. Only getting 10 points each here means that somebody underneath them can skyrocket up. Right, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll be putting the next live up really, really soon. I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Thank you, and goodbye.